The NBA inviting 22 teams to Orlando. This is what the plan will look like. 13 Western Conference, 9 Eastern Conference, 8 regular season games per team. Play-in for the 8 seeds, July 31st to October 12th. The vote will come tomorrow to ratify. And Woj finishes this off saying the NBA is back, which I got to be honest, is pretty nice to hear either way. Jalen Rose is back with us, Stephen A. Smith and Max Kellerman as well. And Stephen A., I understand you have some news also as it relates to this, so take it away.
Well, first of all, obviously people were watching me earlier and they heard my position, so this is pretty close to it. I would have had 21 teams instead of 22 because I'm assuming that 9th team from the Eastern Conference will probably be the Washington Wizards, who are 5.5 games out. John Wall ain't going to be available till next season anyway. That's my position, Jalen. But they were watching, and a high-ranking, very reliable source texted me this message about it. They said, because obviously, remember, I was proposing you start earlier, and I wish it had ended earlier, like in September, whatever. They said the problem with ending sooner, meaning ending in September instead of October, is that it would require multiple back-to-backs during the playoffs, which no one would want. We can't start in early July, obviously, because, you know, Walt Disney will probably need to bring back all of its employees and stuff like that. Plus, obviously, the players need time to play in condition. They're trying to balance all of that. That's what this comes down to. So it's a perfectly logical explanation as to why the time frame is what it is. The players need some time to get ready for July 31st. Obviously, the competition is going to be what it is. And in order to finish it sooner, you'd have to have back-to-backs during the playoffs. And no one wants that because we don't want that excuse. So it all makes sense as to why this is. Under those circumstances, we understand why it's going to go into October. We accept it. And the bottom line is this. In the end, I don't really have a problem with it. My opposition was to all 30 teams. I thought it should have been 21. The fact that it's 22 doesn't really bother me. It damn sure should not have been all 30, and apparently it won't be. I'm totally good with that, Jalen.
I wonder what this means for local TV revenue, the threshold being 70 for that to fully vest, I guess is the word. And these 8 games make sure that that happens. I believe the fewest games the team would play was 71 regular season games. But since it's only 21 of the 30 teams, how does that work, right? I got to say, as usual, I'm just very impressed. And it's how often Adam Silver gets this right. Maybe not the first time, like the situation with China. I felt like he's hedging his bets a little bit here. But ultimately, how often he acts with wisdom and empathy for the players and the business interests of the owners, and somehow all makes it work. He has been exemplary now through many crises since he's taken over as commissioner, following a legendary commissioner. And he is the model right now in professional sports in this country. Adam Silver, I think, by and large, got it right again.
He definitely got it right, Max. And what I was sitting here doing, guys, because all situations aren't created equal, I was writing off the top of my head the 8 teams that did not get invited. And each of those situations are different. So if you're the Atlanta Hawks, you have a young star in Trae Young, you would have loved the opportunity to give him to just continue to gain experience because he's never played in the playoffs. If you're the Cavs, you can't wait till the season ends. If you're the Charlotte Hornets, we would love to see Michael Jordan sitting on the bench, but he ain't going to be in uniform, so I understand it. If you're the Golden State Warriors, you can't wait for this season to be over. Minnesota, I want to send a shout-out to Karl Anthony Towns, who lost his mother due to coronavirus. I know he's dealing with a heavy heart right now. Their season is over. We talked about the New York Knickerbockers. I'm pretty sure you guys are both from New York. You don't want to see them play basketball again this year. And the Chicago Bulls.
No.
So, to your point, Max, Adam Silver got it right not only by getting enough time for the players to get back in shape, ease business relations back in, coaches back in, front offices back in, that type of thing, but he also got it right from the fact that you can't just bring 16 teams and feel like they're going to be focused on the playoffs. You have to create a level of intrigue. And now with the 22 squads, we don't know what's going to happen. Is this going to be a 1 through is the play-in situation now going to create a 1 through 16 open seeding? Because if that now does,
Jalen.
that's going to be a game changer. And I hear what you're saying about the clock, Stephen A., and not wanting to compete against the NFL. You're right about when September happens, we're so focused on the NFL. But remember, that's only 3 days a week. And especially early in the season, I think people will be just excited to see LeBron against Giannis or Kawhi as they would be to see Brady against Drew Brees.
Max, chime in real quick so I can go. Go ahead, Max, real quick. Go ahead.
All I'll say is, I got to be honest. They just made the rest of the season more exciting than it would have otherwise been, with the possibility with the play-ins and everything. And there's such pent-up demand. This is going to be incredible if they can pull this off.
Couple of things. Number one, props to Lloyd Pierce and the job that he's doing with the Atlanta Hawks. You can't measure his record. He's exceptional at player development. I'm proud of the job that he's been doing as head coach of the Hawks, and I think they're moving in the forward direction. Sorry, he's not going to be in the mix. But secondly, and more importantly, Jalen, I love the fact that in the future, I guess people will have an excuse to take the regular season a little bit more seriously. That's to you too, Max. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.